Hello everyone. Today again we are having another video for class 12th from Vistas. Today the chapter is On the Face of It by Susan Hill. Susan Hill, an English writer, short story writer and novelist, born in 1942 in England. And when we come to this chapter on the face of it, we can say this is an autobiographical, we can say, picture of Susan's life. In what way this is autobiographical picture? Because in one of her books, which is semi-autobiography, she talked about her own loneliness. Because this chapter also deals with loneliness. Because her fiancé died, and those 2-3 years were very tough years for her. She herself had very lonely time at that time. Though after 3 years she got married again to another man, though in 2013 she left that man also. So we can say this loneliness actually is not only fiction. Somewhere this writer also had experienced this loneliness. When we come to this chapter, on the face of it, first of all comes this question in mind, that why this title on the face of it? Or what does it mean on the face of it? So first of all, you should know the clear meaning of this chapter, then only you will be able to understand, because then one of the important questions is aptness of this title on the face of it. Actually, when we use this word face, here face means actually surface. You can take it like that, on the surface. Because sometime it happens that on the surface level, the things are somewhere very bright or very beautiful or very happy kind of things. But when you go deeper, then only you find the true or nature of that particular thing, or we can say then only you get the truth. So here also we can say, if we talk about the surface level, this story is actually of a very young boy and an old man. And when we talk about the surface level, this young boy seems to be very arrogant, and the old man seems to be having many friends, seems to be a very busy person, very happy person. But when we read the story, when we go bit deeper, then only we get to understand that the boy is not that arrogant. He is having, we can say, a golden heart, because he understands many things. And the same way for the old man, who on the surface level looks very happy, he is actually very lonely man. So this is what the story is on the face of it, that sometime on the surface level the things are different. Now let's start with the story. This is a play featuring an old man and a small boy meeting in the farmer's garden. Farmer here is old man, old man's garden. The old man strikes up a friendship with the boy, who is very withdrawn and defiant. Withdrawn here means who remains to himself only, who doesn't want to be in a company, who doesn't want to talk to other people. Okay, this kind of boy he is. or he seems to be very pessimistic boy, or we can say who is that pessimistic, who is ready to plunge into the solitary ocean. This kind of boy he is. But when these two people meet, we will see what is the bond then, okay, after their meeting. So now this is a play, so this is having two scenes. Scene 1, Mr. Lamb's garden. There is the occasional sound of bird song and of tree leaves rustling. Because of wind, the trees are rustling here and there and to and fro, moving to and fro. Daddy's footsteps are heard as he walks slowly and tentatively through the long grass. Now this Daddy, this boy, he has jumped over the wall and entered into the garden. He is walking very slowly because he has entered without permission. So that's why he is walking very slowly, and tentatively here means he's stopping, looking here and there, and then taking next step. This is what it means. He pauses, then walks on again. He comes round a screen of bushes so that when Mr. Lamb speaks to him, he is close at hand and Daddy is startled. Actually, because of long grass, this Daddy could not see that there was another person sitting in the garden. And when he gets to know, when that other person, he speaks. And because Daddy was not expecting anyone, that's why he's startled, he's surprised when he hears someone instructing him, someone saying something to him. Mr. Lamb, mind the apples. Actually, already some apples are fallen on the ground. And this voice says, just mind these apples, means don't put your foot on the apple. Don't crush those apples. Walk cautiously. Daddy, what? Who's that? Who's there? Mr. Lamb. Lamb is my name. Mind the apples, means take care of the apples. Don't crush those apples. Crab apples those are. Wind falls in the long grass. You could trip. He said, don't put your foot on the apples. You can jump over these apples. These are the apples which have fallen due to windfall. But take care. Daddy, I thought this was an empty place. I didn't know there was anybody here. Now Daddy is startled and he says, he's in a kind of, trying to apologize. That sorry, I didn't know that you are here. Otherwise I would not have come. Okay, so this is what he's saying. I didn't know anybody was here. Mr. Lamb, that's all right. I'm here. What are you afraid of, boy? That's all right. This lamb, maybe he could see, and that's why he could see the face expression also. And that's why he said, don't be afraid. So what if you have come and I'm here? Okay, no need to be afraid. It's all right. You're here. Daddy, I thought it was empty, an empty house. Daddy is still trying to explain. He says, sorry, I thought this is empty place. That's why I came. I never knew that you are here. Mr. Lamb, so it is. He said, yes, so you thought this is empty place? Yes, it's empty place only. Since I am out here in the garden. He says, naturally, I am in the garden. That's why this place means he points toward his house. He says, yes, this place is empty. I am here in the garden. It is empty until I go back inside. He says, when I go back inside in my house, then only I would say it is not empty. But right now, you are right, this is empty. In the meantime, I am out here and likely to stop. A day like this, beautiful day, not a day to be indoors. And then he said, this day is very beautiful. Just see the weather. What a beautiful weather it is. And I don't think that in this good weather, one should remain in the house. Okay, one should come and sit in the garden. That's why I'm sitting here. Okay, you need not to be afraid. Daddy, panic. I have to go. But Daddy is not still out of that, that panic that he entered without permission. So he says, sorry. I think I should go back. I have to go. Not on my account. But Mr. Lamb says, no. Don't go back because of me. I don't mind who comes into the garden. The gate is always open. Only you climb the garden wall. He says, don't worry. Don't go because of me. Because I never mind when people come to my garden. And then he said, see, This garden gate is always open. I have always kept it open so that people can come. It's only you who jumped over the wall, otherwise people come through the gate. Derry, angry. You were watching me? Okay, he got angry. He says, this is not a good thing. You were watching me when I was climbing over the wall. At that time only you should have spoken something. I would have, got to know that someone is there. Mr. Lamb, I saw you, but the gate is open. All welcome. You are welcome. I sit here. I like sitting. But Mr. Lamb, he kept on saying, he said, don't worry. I don't mind people coming over here. I sit here. I like people coming and sitting over here. Okay, because the day is good. Daddy, I had not come to steal anything. Now Daddy is now still explaining. He says, no, sorry. It's not that I have come, I jumped over the wall because I entered in the garden stealthily because I wanted to steal your apples or other fruits. No, it's not like that. Lamb, no. The young lads steal, scrump the apples. You are not so young. Lamb says, yes, don't worry. I know you haven't come to steal my fruits because only young children steal. You are not that young. Okay, who could come for stealing? Daddy, I just wanted to come into the garden. Daddy is still explaining. He says, yes, I did not come to steal anything. I just wanted to come into the garden. I just wanted to sit over here. That's why I came. Mr. Lamb, so you did. Here we are then. Mr. Lamb says, yes, you wanted to come over here. You wanted to sit. You have come. Now we both are here. We both can enjoy the company of each other. We both can enjoy this weather, good weather. Daddy, you don't know who I am. Now Daddy is surprised that how can this man invite some stranger to come and sit over there. He say, you do not know me. Okay, who I am? Mr. Lamb, a boy, 13 or so. Lamb says, so what? I do not know you. Because I can see that you are a boy, maybe 13 or something like this. 13 plus or 14. Derry, 14. Now Derry, he's a young boy. He says, no, I'm not 13. I'm a big boy, 14. But I have got to go now. Goodbye. But still, Derry is not comfortable. He says, I think I should go back. Okay, bye-bye, I'm going. Mr. Lamb, nothing to be afraid of. Just a garden, just me. Mr. Lamb still says, why you want to go? You had come to sit over here? Then spend some time. You need not afraid of me. Okay, this is just a garden. Don't be afraid of me. You can sit over here. Daddy, but I'm not afraid. Pause. People are afraid of me. First of all, he gets excited. He says, no, who says I'm afraid? No, I'm not afraid of you. And then he gives a pause. And then he says, the fact is, actually people are afraid of me. Mr. Lamb, why should that be? Mr. Lamb says, people are afraid of you? Why? What do you think? Why they are afraid of you? Daddy, everyone is. It doesn't matter who they are or what they say or how they look, how they pretend. I know, I can see. But Daddy, he says, no, I know. Everyone is afraid of me. It doesn't matter what they say, what they think, what they pretend, what words they use. But I know the truth. And the truth is that they are afraid of me. Mr. Lamb, see what? And now, because he said that I can see, that's why he said, see what? Actually, Daddy wanted to say that I can see, I can understand. And Daddy asked, means what you can see, what you can understand. Daddy, what they think? He says, I can understand what goes on in their mind when they look at me, what they think about me. Mr. Lamb, what do they think then? Mr. Lamb says, really? You know what they think about you? Then tell me, what do they think about you? Daddy, you think. Here you means generalized, means they think. He says, when they look at me, I know what they think. Here's a boy, you look at me, and then you see my face, and you think, that's bad, that's a terrible thing. He says, I know what, goes into their mind when they look at me. When they look at me, they start thinking. that this is really very bad thing. This is really terrible thing. When they look at my face, this is what they think about me. That's the ugliest thing I ever saw. You think, poor boy, but I'm not. And then he says, I know people in their hearts, they think that this is the ugliest face they have seen. Mine is the ugliest face. Okay, and then sometimes they use the word poor boy. They show sympathy. But he says, no, I'm not poor boy. I don't want any sympathies. But I'm not poor. Underneath, you are afraid. He says, I know. Sometimes they show sympathy. But the fact is, actually, they are afraid of my face. You are afraid. Anybody would be. I am. When I look in the mirror and see it, I am afraid of me. He says, but I don't blame people. I know that when they look at my face, they would be afraid of me. Anybody can be afraid of me because my face is very ugly face. And then he says, even I also, sometimes when I look at my face in the mirror, even I sometimes feel that yes, this is ugliest face. Even I'm afraid of my face. So I don't blame people. Mr. Lamb, no, not the whole of you, not of you. Now he says, when I look in the mirror, when I look at my face, even I'm afraid of myself because this is the ugliest face. And that's why Lamb says, but not whole of you is ugly. Maybe only one part may be ugly. Okay, where you have this burnt face. Otherwise, not all of you is ugly. Terry, yes, but he says, no, I know. I look ugly, Mr. Lamb. Later on, now actually Mr. Lamb, now this Lamb feels that this boy is not going to listen to him. This is kind of, self-sympathy. That's why he would keep on talking about his face. And now that's why he wants to change the subject matter. He wants to talk something else. So that's why he says, later on, when it is a bit cooler, I will get a ladder and a stick and pull down those crab apples. They are ripe for it. I make jelly. It's a good time of year. September. Look at them. Orange and golden. He just wants that this boy should stop thinking about his face, and that's why he says, look at these apples. I make jelly out of these apples. And when in the evening it's a bit cooler, then I will bring the ladder and I will climb the ladder, and then I will pluck more apples. And then I will make this jelly. Okay, orange apples, golden apples. He says, just look at this beautiful fruit. That's magic fruit, I often say. But it's best picked and made into jelly. You could give me a hand. And then in the end he says, if you want, you can come again in the evening. You can help me in plucking those fruits. Derry, what have you changed the subject for? Now Derry understood. He says, why you are changing the subject matter? I know even you are also thinking about my face. I know even you are also thinking that this is ugly face, but you don't want to talk about it. Okay, you are trying to hide, but I know that this is what you are thinking. People always do that. And then he says, it's not only you. Always people do the same thing. They look at me, they will talk about me, they will think that I'm ugly face, but then they will say something else. People always do this. Why don't you ask me? And then he says, every time people have this question in their mind, that what has happened to this face, but they don't ask. They keep thinking, but they don't ask. That's why he said, why don't you ask? I know even you are also having the same question. Why do you do what all do and pretend it isn't true and isn't there? He says, you're also doing the same thing. Other people also pretend that they are not looking at my face. They are not thinking that I am an ugly looking boy. But I know this is what they think in their hearts. In case I see you looking in mind and get upset, I will tell. You don't ask me because you are afraid to. He says, I know you are looking at me. What's going on in your heart? What you are thinking about me? Maybe you are also getting upset to look at this ugly face, but you are not asking because you are also afraid. Mr. Lamb, you want me to ask? Say so then. Now Mr. Lamb says, okay. You want me to ask? Okay, I'm asking. Now you tell me, what happened to your face? But Derry was lost. He did not listen to this. I don't like being with people, any people. He kept saying, he says, that's why I don't want, to be in any company, because I know people just stare at me, they look at me, they think about me, they think that I'm ugly as face, but they don't say anything. But I know whatever they think about me. And that's why maybe he did not listen to this question when Lamb said, okay, you tell me what happened to your face. Mr. Lamb, I should say, to look at it, I should say you got burnt in a fire. Now, Mr. Lamb, he himself said, he said, okay, I think you got burnt in a fire. Derry, not in a fire. I got acid all down that side of my face and it burnt it all away. He said, it's not fire. Actually, acid fell on this side of my face and it burnt my face. It ate my face up. It ate me up. He said, it's not only that it burnt my face, it spoiled my face. He said, no, I must say it spoiled my whole life. It ate my whole life. And now it's like this and I won't ever be any different. And he says, I know that now my face will remain like this only. This is not going to change. I will be dying with this burnt face only. And that's why maybe Derry is that pessimistic. I think we should stop here only. Okay, now you read whatever we have read in this video. Read it thoroughly and then maybe you will be able to understand the loneliness or the meaning of loneliness. Thank you.